Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach when working with clients. We help gym owners and coaches build successful nutrition programs without reinventing the wheel. I'm your host, Nicole Aucoin, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of The Basics of Nutrition Coaching CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course. I'm going to teach you how to take one step at a time to build a successful nutrition program where you finally feel confident talking about nutrition to your members and your community. This week on the podcast, I sit down with Kayla Pollock. She's a gym owner, nutrition coach, and now an HSN mentor. She actually helped us launch one of the most valuable additions that we have ever made to the HSN mentoring training, which is the coach evaluation. In today's podcast, we discuss why coach evaluations are important for your nutrition coaches, who should be doing them. When we look at the most successful nutrition coaches in the evaluation, what do they have in common? Next, we talk about the most common mistakes. And lastly, what an HSN mentoring coach should do to nail their coach evaluation. Coach evaluations were designed for a couple things. One, to ensure consistency with the delivery of the Healthy Steps Nutrition Program with the thousands of coaches and gym owners that are using it. And two, to increase confidence of nutrition coaches by providing feedback and giving them more tools in their toolbox. We'll get to this episode on coach evaluations right after this message. Did you know that HSN Mentoring has a turnkey solution to save you time and not reinvent the wheel when it comes to building a nutrition program from scratch? That's right. HSN Mentoring starts with the training process that includes online modules, homework, and 6 one-on-one mentoring calls. The training teaches you how to get your program set up in a gym or independently, how to market your nutrition program, how to coach clients using a habit-based approach, and most importantly, how to retain them. Lastly, we talk about how to run a successful nutrition challenge and convert clients to ongoing coaching after their challenge is over. Getting started is easy. You can book a free call by clicking the link in the show notes. From there, we will talk and see if this is a good fit. And if it is, you can get your program up and running in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. All right, let's get to this episode on coach evaluations. Kayla, welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I was actually looking, and it was just about a year ago, the last time I was on the podcast.
Yeah, we were going through switching to virtual, like COVID had just happened, and you had done such a good job with conversion to ongoing nutrition coaching from a challenge. And I was like, you know what? We got to have you on the podcast talking about converting clients to ongoing coaching. So we'll go ahead and link that podcast episode below this one. But man, a lot has happened, and you have done some incredible things, not only with your nutrition program at your location, but also coming on board as now a mentor for HSN Mentoring and heading up one of the coolest additions that we have added to the training in the past year.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a wild ride, and I'm honestly just living a dream every day. If you told me a year ago this is where I'd be, I think I would have laughed in your face.
Oh my gosh. Well, you did your last internship with us, or your last rotation, which ended up being a few months during COVID.
Yep.
And you did such an amazing job with that. I was like, Ashley, our director of nutrition education, I was like, we got to get her on board doing something. Like, we can't let her go. So thank you for coming on board with us. We're so thankful to have you. So one of the things, and the main thing that you came on today to talk about, is coach evaluations. And we noticed, even at our HQ location, sometimes coach evaluations don't happen as often as they should on the gym side, let alone on the nutrition coaching side, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And one of the things that we started adding to the mentoring process at the last stage of mentoring is a coach evaluation. So you are the client and the coach is the coach, and you walk them through a scenario of an initial consultation.
Yes, exactly. And Nicole, I have to say, it has been so much fun. I get to dive into these different client scenarios. I've been a busy mom of three. I've been a diehard keto fan, just all over the board. And seeing how the coaches handle the different scenarios is just, it's so much fun.
Well, what's really cool is this is really helped coaches become more confident when they have paying clients, because your first client is a little nerve wracking. Even if you go through getting your master's in nutrition, like becoming a dietitian, opening my private practice. I remember my first client, I was super nervous. Like, am I doing this right? Am I giving too much information? And that's what happens a lot of times. We like want to make them feel like we know what we're talking about. So we overspill and not keep it simple, which is the exact opposite of what we believe at Healthy Steps Nutrition. So let's just look at the overall picture of coach evaluations. Who should be doing coach evaluations for nutrition coaches at a gym?
First, I want to say every coach should have an evaluation, whether they are a new coach coming on board for the first time or they're an existing coach, because a lot of changes have been made with focusing on one thing at a time, the habit base, the holistic approach. And those are all integral parts of helping your clients truly find success. And I cannot stress enough like how important these evaluations truly are.
Well, we even made it easy for owners to give coach evaluations because the rubric is in the platform. So if you are an owner listening to this or a coach, like the rubric is in the platform, go look at it and see, are you actually doing what you should be doing to help become a better coach? And really, this not only goes to help you become a better coach, but it really helps you be able to help your clients more and increases retention with your clients, because you are able to help them with a meaningful change instead of overwhelming them with too much information at one time.
Absolutely. And that's actually one of the common mistakes. But to go back to how important they are, as a business owner myself, sometimes when we're wearing all the hats, thinking about all the things that need to be done, evaluations are one of those things that kind of get pushed aside. But they're important for both the owner and the coach for those development opportunities. It's an area to really highlight the strengths, identify the areas for improvement, and it allows us to recognize and celebrate the uniqueness that I think each coach brings. And a big word I want to use is consistency. We want to make sure that we're providing an excellent service to our clients and that it's consistent across the board. So this is especially important if you have more than one coach on staff, for example, because I want client A working with nutrition coach A to get the same awesome experience and success as working with a second client with a second nutrition coach. So it is so important that as an owner, you understand the value that's being provided and everything that's going along with the value within these meetings working with the clients.
Okay, I want to unpack this for a second, because a nutrition program in a gym is so different than a private practice. Your clients talk to each other. So if coach A and coach B are doing something different, it's going to be really easy for your clients to tell. Unlike a normal nutrition private practice where your clients don't talk to each other every day. I was just talking to a dietitian yesterday on a free call, and she is helping some gyms implement nutrition programs, and she's doing stuff different than the coach in-house. I'm like, well, that's not going to be the best experience for that gym and for the clients of yours and that coach, because they're going to talk to each other. And at some point it's going to be exposed that you guys are doing things differently. So you're 1,000% right. Consistency is so, so important. And Kayla, one of the things that we talk about, and there's some gyms, like I'm thinking of Cigar City right off the bat, Ariel, right? She did a coach evaluation with you, but she has multiple coaches underneath her, right?
Yep.
So she's doing the nutrition coach. It doesn't necessarily have to be the owner. It could be the head coach in some of these big gyms that have multiple nutrition coaches. Just someone needs to be doing them.
Absolutely. And I love that we at HSN, we are able to offer that first evaluation to really understand what the process should look like. And then we also offer the rubric and everything that goes along with it. So then the gyms can stay consistent, because regular evaluations should be happening throughout the entire year, not just this one time.
1,000% right. You know, one of the things that we do with our mentor meetings with you guys, as well as our nutrition coach meetings, is we give different scenarios. And part of working with a team is that you can hear other people's cues that you might not be using and think like, oh man, that's a great thing to say. I can use that for some future clients. And having nutrition coach meetings, if you are in a team, is really helpful because you can add more tools to your toolbox. And this essentially is a way to add more tools on your toolbox in a individual coach setting.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I stress even the coaches who have been doing this for years at this point, they should still get the evaluation. I've been doing it for a while. I went to school for this and I still walk away from a lot of these evaluations thinking, man, that was a really great aspect. I'm going to steal that and use it in my program and try to find my own style with it. So it's been a really great experience, even for myself, to learn new cues.
And I think it goes down to one thing that you just said is having a growth mindset, right? Like we all can be better. And until you can get to the point of thinking like, hey, there are some things that I don't know that I can learn and get better and help myself as a coach, but then also help my clients, you're not going to be able to really reach your full potential. Okay. So we understand about coach evaluations. We understand why they're important. Let's dive into some of the evals. And you've done quite a few evals.
So many.
Tell me about when we look at the top 10 evaluations, what are those people doing really well?
Yeah, I love this question. I would say that the coaches who do the best are honestly the coaches who talk the least, right? Yeah, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but really it's a huge factor that I'm noticing between those who are really successful and doing really great in the evaluations. Coaches who are talking less are allowing and actually encouraging their clients to share more, and they give them the space to be open and allow them to share the details of their goals, where they currently are, what their habits are, and that just allows us to really create a solid plan that leads to that long-term success. And I think the coaches who do the best with this are the ones who really utilize OARs within motivational interviewing, which I know you and Ashley have talked about on podcasts, but that's open-ended questions, affirmations, reflections, and summaries. They're able to guide the clients with those open-ended questions. They're responding with affirmations, which builds rapport. And then they're offering reflections and summaries, which is really just making sure that everybody's on the same page and we're feeling confident and comfortable, which is everything. On a similar note, going off the same thing, they're able to get the clients in the driver's seat. And again, that includes getting your clients to talk more, and the coach is actually talking less and listening more. So I would say that that's the first big one.
Which a lot of times you don't even realize how much you're talking when you do initial consultations. Like, especially at the beginning, right? You might be nervous and so you're just rambling, when in reality, if you just shut up and let the client talk, you're going to build that rapport so much better. And it's interesting, in the virtual setting, it's given us an opportunity to watch our own consultations, right? Because you can do them through Zoom and they're recorded and you can watch your own. So I think a great opportunity for you, if you're not an HSN mentoring client, is to record one and watch back and just look at how much time you're talking and how much time the client's talking. It could be a great reflection, because you might not even realize that you're talking the entire time and not actually giving your client time to figure out what they want to work on and give them the autonomy of making their own decisions.
Absolutely. And that kind of goes to like the next big thing that I see. The coaches who do really well take a whole lot of time in the plan creation. And with that, they're asking their clients what they want to work on and getting their clients in the driver's seat, which allows them to really take ownership, and they're engaged and excited. And that leads just to more success.
I love that. One of the things that we've talked a lot about, because you come on our Coaches Corner, formerly Roundtable discussions, and kind of give some tips to coaches a lot. But one of the things that we've talked about when creating this plan is it's not just, okay, do this action step. We really have to dive into, how are you going to actually do it? Let's walk through the action plan. If you're going to prep breakfast, okay, let's open up the cookbook. Let's pick out a breakfast recipe. What ingredients do you have at home? What ingredients do we need to get? When are you going to get them? When are you going to prep it? Like, let's map out every step so it's so easy and thoughtless for clients to actually do what they talk about doing.
Oh, absolutely. I do something very similar. And I'll use the example of the plate method because I feel like that's a common action step that my client scenarios get, which is a great one. I think it's a solid first step for a lot of nutrition clients. But pick out 1 to 2 recipes and then figure out what portion of the plate that's covering. And then using the amazing resource like the food options guide, have them while they're in the meeting, pick out 1 to 2 ideas that they can fill the other portions of their plate with and have that list. And the end goal should be that when the client walks out of the office, they know exactly what they're doing and how to find success. And so the coaches who are doing the best with that are the ones who I like to explain it as they don't take anything for granted.
I love that. The more simple you can make things, the more confident your clients are going to feel. So taking the guesswork out of it and letting them actually walk away with something tangible and a plan, but not only just like a goal, but actually, okay, what do we need to do to accomplish this goal is going to help you build the rapport with your clients and help them understand how you're going to support them in the future.
Exactly.
Any other things that you could think about? I want to give one tip. So if you find yourself struggling with talking a lot, get yourself a cup of water and put it in front of you so that when you find yourself talking, if you don't like that awkward silence, go ahead and just drink a sip of water and that's going to force you to shut up.
100%. I have actually written that because after the evaluations through HSN, I handpick out some resources and offer suggestions to help with any of the areas. And I have written in there, drink some water when you want to talk, and that's going to hold you back because your mouth is going to be busy. So I love that 1,000%. So I would say another thing to think about, and you've kind of said it over and over. I think every podcast I've heard this, keep it simple. Coaches often kind of get stuck in this web and it gets overwhelming for the client when they start to share too much information. And like I said, as the client, and I'm somebody who has a lot of background with nutrition, I still find it overwhelming at times. So I just want coaches out there to really reflect and remind themselves that unfortunately, people don't care how much you know until they know first how much you care and then how you can solve their problems. So just do yourself a favor. While all your education is amazing, keep it simple and start stretching it out. Sprinkle the education pieces in more bite-sized digestible amounts.
I love that. And you being able to provide ongoing education is going to help your clients understand the value of ongoing coaching with you. So don't feel like you have to share too much at one time. Trust me, we have all been there. And I always wondered why my clients never stuck around. It was because I overwhelmed them with too much information at one time. No, it was interesting. We recently released a podcast with Jason Ackerman. He was talking about coaches. At first, you keep it simple, like before you have any education, because you don't really know anything. And then you get this education and you like make it complex. And then you realize, okay, that's not working. We have to go back to simple. So it's like this bell curve of simple, complex, so much information. And then, okay, now we have to simplify. And I can honestly say from experience, that's how Healthy Steps Nutrition has evolved. And you will be so much more effective when you keep it simple.
Yes, I totally agree. And just like everybody else, I started off the same way. I would spend like 75 minutes sharing every resource, reading every line in the handbook, talking about micronutrients and the exact amounts your body needs. And at the end of the day, my clients were like, that doesn't help me at all. So
I'm really
it's definitely a
confused.
learning process. Yeah. So I've had to learn myself and grow. And like I said, I've been doing this for a bit now, and I am still growing and learning new things along the way.
I think we all are learning it, and that's the most important thing, right? Like, okay, what works and what doesn't, and let's keep what works and hold that close and figure out what the heck to do better to overcome the things that don't work. All right, now let's talk about the things that don't work. What are the most common mistakes that you're seeing with coach evaluations?
Yeah, I'm going to say just talking too much. And when the client talks too much, and I know I'm talking around the same thing, but it is so important. When you talk too much, you're missing out on the detail that's going to shed light on the lowest hanging fruit. And even further, all the barriers that your clients are going to face on a daily or weekly basis. And when we miss that detail, we're unable to truly create a plan that's going to navigate that for them where they can find success. So again, we got to get our clients talking, open-ended questions, and really have that water bottle in front of you. I want you to drink, 60 ounces before the meeting is over.
I love that. No, I think sometimes as a nutrition coach, you focus on just the nutrition piece and underestimate the value of all the other things.
Hmm.
What do I mean with all the other things? If you look at the holistic approach of Healthy Steps Nutrition, I think one of the most undervalued things is support system. And if
Yes.
you're talking to your client, let's say a husband who, or we can use my family, for example. If I'm a nutrition client and you're talking to me about grocery shopping and prepping food, I do 10% of the cooking in our household. My husband does 90%. So if we never got to the point of who does the cooking in the house, who's there to support you, and you never found out that I actually don't do any of the cooking, it doesn't really matter what you tell me to cook because I'm not cooking anyways. It's my husband that needs to be involved in the conversation.
Hmm.
So you have to look at all of the other factors, not just what are you putting in your mouth.
Yes, it all comes together. And the holistic approach is something that I'm very nitpicky in with the evaluations because it is that important. I actually have a client scenario, and I'm not going to give too much information because I really like to use this one in the evaluation, but I'm a busy mom of 3. And one thing I have to navigate is taking care of the entire household. And I really only have my spouse in this scenario who's home on the weekends to help out. And so a conversation that may need to happen and probably should happen is talking with the spouse about how important the goals are, my whys behind it, and how my spouse can maybe take care of the kids for a little bit. So I can maybe do some meal prep, or I can just spend some time on stress management. So my cup is also being full. And so those are the missing pieces. When you don't hit the support system, that's a huge barrier that your clients may need to navigate. And we should be there to guide them and offer solutions for that.
And even going a step further, I would say in your scenario, let's role play that conversation of how you're going to talk to your husband, right? Like let's have a conversation about it. Let's practice right now so that you feel confident going into that conversation with your husband. Because if you don't play it out,
Mm-hmm.
they might not feel comfortable actually doing it. And then that's a barrier.
Yeah, yeah. And for some reason, those conversations, while they are the people we're closest with, they can feel really scary. And so while I'm role playing for the evaluation, all of our coaches should honestly get comfortable with that role play because that is going to be a huge piece of the puzzle for a lot of the clients they're working with.
I love that. Support system is such a big piece of the holistic puzzle. And if you're just focusing on what you eat, I challenge you to go listen to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. The first 7 episodes, we actually dive into each of the pieces of the Healthy Steps Nutrition framework where we are looking at a holistic framework. So we'll link those episodes below this one, but it is important to keep in mind it's not just about what you eat. There's so many other factors that you can help with as a coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other common mistakes that you see with coaches?
I would say a big one then would be giving too many action steps all at once. Yeah, there have been some. I walk away and I've counted 5+ different action steps that my client would walk away needing to think about.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
One step at a time. I know it's Healthy Steps Nutrition. There's a lot of steps that go involved, but if we just focus on one step at a time, our clients are going to be more confident, they're going to be consistent, and they're going to see better results. And the research shows when you focus on only one thing at a time, you're 80% successful to maintain that one thing over the course of a year. And that's a really important piece of the puzzle because you don't want to give your client too many things at one time. They feel overwhelmed and then they don't want to come back because they feel like they're going to get more stuff from you. And they're already overwhelmed and overworked and have too much on their plate to begin with.
Yeah, I've actually had a few conversations with coaches about why they gave so many action steps. And it usually boils down to being worried about not providing enough value. But I want to remind those coaches that if you give them all the resources and all the action steps and they don't find success, that is not the value that your client was looking for. We should be there to build them a plan where they can find those successes. And when they do, it's going to breed more motivation because it's not the sprint. As we always say, it's the marathon. And when they can reach that success, that long-term goal, that's the value. That is what this is all about.
I love that. And then you have the apps to keep them accountable. So you have the HSN app where you are putting in their action step and their habit that they're working on, they can mark off complete and you can see as a coach, did they actually do what they said they were going to do? And streamlined communication is a huge piece of the puzzle when you're looking at managing not 10 clients, but 30, 40, 50 clients. You need streamlined systems to be able to manage all of those clients. All right. What should a coach do to prepare for their evaluation?
Yeah, great question. There's actually a new page up through HSN, which I am absolutely in love with, but it highlights a few of the key resources. First and foremost, look at the rubric, the evaluation that I am grading you on, because that's going to give you insight to what I'm looking for. If you are a checklist person, write those out and make sure you touch upon them. And then we're going to refine the process together, but at least you're getting that baseline. So just know what we're looking for. And I always check this in the beginning. I always ask, do you have the HSN initial consultation form or a note page to kind of follow along to make sure that you're asking all the questions? And really, it's to remind them to hit every aspect, including the holistic approach, which we discussed is just so important. And then another big thing I would say is take the time to dive into the app, because it is an amazing piece that we really talk about scalability, right? It does offer a ton of value. It allows us to give the support and the accountability to our clients. So I want all the coaches to figure out what are the 3 most important features of the app. Define that and really just explain that when you're doing the evaluation, not every aspect of the app, because man, that can get a bit overwhelming.
What are the 3 most important aspects that you think of when you think of the app?
Yeah, so I do the same exact thing when I'm working with my clients. So I always explain the habits, but when I explain the habits, I spend a bit more time. So I put the habits in there. I explain how they track them and why it's so important. And the app is so amazing. When they start tracking their habit, you can pull up a calendar and it breaks down how consistent they are with the percentage. So I always leave them with a goal. Do you think that we can get, 80% consistency with this habit before the next time I see you? And consistency is everything. People are always looking for the best diet out there, the solution out there, whatever the magic pill is. And you said it before, it's consistency. So having that is so important. So I walk them through the how and the why of the habit. The second thing I show them is their training program where they can locate the videos that go out every single week. And I always show them, hey, it's going to be great tips. And there's always a recipe at the end. And that's my favorite part. I want people to be excited about the food and, love the food that they're eating. If they're not, what's the point? So I do the habits, I do the videos, and the last thing is messaging, because the clients who are more engaged and checking in more often are the ones who find the most success. So those are my top 3.
I love those. Those would be my top 3 for sure too. You want to be able to have a streamlined form of communication. And if you're not showing them how to message you, they're going to go to the way that they already were messaging you before. Facebook message, email, text, and you don't want that because it's going to be impossible to keep track of conversations. So you need to show them how to message you within the app for sure.
Yeah.
The coach evaluation is a part of the training process and it's a part of adding a new coach. But you and I and Melinda and Lindsay and Ashley were on a meeting a few months ago and we're like, we really want other coaches to get coach evaluation, some older coaches, right? And basically what we said was, if you get a coach evaluation and you're an existing coach, you can get on this new directory that we released, hireanutritioncoach.com. So why is that important? Well, now at the end of the Nutrition Made Simple podcast, the call to action is find a healthy steps nutrition coach near you, go to hireanutritioncoach.com. So now you not only have all of the new gyms coming on board and new coaches coming on board getting coach evaluations, you also have all of these existing coaches who've been with us for years and years that are now getting coaches evaluations because they want to get on the directory, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. If you look at my calendar, it is just all evaluations. It's been a blast.
Man, this is awesome. Kayla, thank you for coming on today and sharing the insight about coach evaluations. It's so important to have a consistent experience in a gym setting if you have multiple coaches, but then also from a coach perspective, you want to become a better coach. And when you are a better coach, you are able to provide your clients more value, simplify the process, help them see better results. And at the end of the day, that's going to get them staying longer. So it's going to help you build your nutrition program faster. So coach evaluations are an amazing tool. If you are an HSN client, please get your coach evaluation. Sign up for a coach evaluation. You do have to pay extra for it. It's $199, but 1,000% worth the value. And then you can get on the directory as well. So Kayla, thank you for all that you do. Truly, you have such an amazing passion for helping others with nutrition, but empowering our coaches to do the same. So thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. And thanks for having me on the podcast again.
Awesome. The coach evaluations is one of the most incredible additions, and I could not think of a better person to head up the evaluations than Kayla. She has years of experience coaching clients using the HSN Mentoring platform, has graduated from school to become a dietitian, has helped build the Basics of Nutrition Coaching CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course, and really helped shape the program into what it is today. But the truth is, there are a team of people that work together to create all of the tools and resources that we release to simplify the process for gym owners, nutrition coaches, and dietitians in our platform. Thank you to everyone on our team to helping the vision to becoming what it is today. I've linked the podcast that we discussed on the blog connected to this episode. All you need to do is click the link in the show notes and you can access them super easily. If you are a gym owner or a nutrition coach looking to save time and not reinvent the wheel, HSN Mentoring has the solution for you. We provide the owner and the coach the training to set up the systems and the nutrition coaching education to become an effective nutrition coach. What separates HSN Mentoring from all of the other courses in the market is that everything is in one place. The business support, the systems, the app to manage your clients, all of the social media content and new content every single month, as well as the one-on-one support with one of the experts from one of our mentoring team. Not only do we help you set up the program, you have the ongoing support to continue to help you grow your program. And the best part is you're not paying us per client that's using the platform. It's a flat subscription fee every single month. So if you are looking to save time and not reinvent the wheel, we would love to help you. Click the link in the show notes to get all of the details and see how it works. It's pretty easy to get started. You book a free call with me to see if it's a good fit, and if it is, you sign up, get access to the course immediately, and start going through the training so your program could be up and launched in as little as 4 weeks. One more thing. Did you enjoy this episode? Make sure that you subscribe and go ahead and leave us a review so that you do not miss another episode. We'll see you back next week.